What's up, guys? Welcome back to the growthscalers channel. And today we're doing something really exciting. We're taking you backstage and telling you what exactly happens when we take over an e-commerce brand. Because the reality is most brands don't really have a growth problem. They have a prioritization problem. And we see this every single week. Brands that are doing decent numbers, running ads, getting traffic. But under the surface, we see a few things that are really holding them back. So in this video, Maria, who is actually one of our brand managers here at growthscalers, is going to break down what she does when she takes over a brand's account. She's going to walk us through what should fix and some of the biggest opportunities she sees brands missing out on. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and down below you can find links to work with our team and booking a free strategy call. Maria, thank you for joining us today, and please introduce yourself for those who might be listening to you for the first time.
So for everyone watching, my name is Maria, and I am a brand manager here at growthscalers. I've been in the retail media landscape for the last 4 years, managing clients across various verticals, from luxury to grocery, and now to stationary goods, even machine guards at this point, and from budgets that range from the millions of dollars a year to much smaller budgets. So really, clients across the full spectrum.
Let's kick off by asking you, Maria, when you first get access to a client's e-commerce account, what are the first 2 or 3 things that you look at immediately? And why are you looking at those specific things?
Okay, so the first thing that we do is we like to look at Amazon or any other retail media as 2 sides. One we're going to call the retail, and the other one we're going to call the media. So retail has everything to do with your listings, with your inventory management. And the first thing that we're going to take a look at is, how does your listing look like? We're going to take a look at the titles. We're going to take a look at the bullet points, the backend search terms, and the images, even your A+ content. We really want to see if you are fully optimizing your listings, if you are up to date with the latest Amazon standards, and we want to see if your listing is what we like to call conversion ready. If we were to land on your listing, does the listing tells us enough about your product, why we should choose your brand, why is your product the right choice for me? So we would start first by the title, making sure that you have all of your key terms there, that any customer that's reading the title can get a good feel of the product and it's just not a keyword list. Then we'll take a look at the images. Do we have enough context that tells me what the product is, what benefit it's given me, and that clearly communicates your unique selling points and ultimately the value that you're bringing to the customer? And we're going to start moving down to the bullet points, the backend search terms. Here we always want to take 2 different approaches. First is storytelling. So we really want to make sure that the bullets can really get across what the product is, any customer concerns, any questions that they might have. And then the other side of it is SEO, so indexing. We still want to make sure that you have some key terms there so that Amazon knows where to place your listing. And then we're going to move to the A+ content. This is really something that we always take a look at because a lot of clients are not leveraging A+ content as they should. At the end, this is a key space to communicate why people should choose your brand. You have about 7 listing images. Most people won't read the bullets, but they would always scroll down to the A+, and you have to make it attractive. You have to communicate why they should choose your brand, make sure that it's mobile friendly because most of the people right now are just buying on mobile phones. So you know how it goes, Ari. So those are the first things that we take a look on the retail side. Then if we see that things are looking up, we would then move to the media side, make sure that you're targeting the right terms. How is your ad spend being distributed between the different ad types, the different campaign types, auto, manual? Are you covering all your bases? So brand defense, non-branded competitor conquesting. Do you have some retargeting strategies in place, some cross-selling strategies? Those are the first thing that we take a look at just to know where your brand stands.
When you are looking at such accounts, there are probably common issues you see within brands, even the ones that are doing pretty good and high revenue. What are some of these limitations or the common issues you see that are quietly limiting brands?
So a lot of the brands that we currently see, they have a good product. They just don't know how to get the message across.
Right.
So when people land on their listing, they don't know why they should be choosing your product. Your product might be a higher value and it might be worth it. Your listing is just not communicating that. So those are the first things that we tell to clients or even potential clients is like, we really see a gap between what your product is and how people are perceiving yourselves. I think that's a limitation that most of the brands are having. A lot of them don't even struggle on the media side. They have a decent ad strategy in place. It's just a listing that's not fixing that. We like to call it like a leaking bucket. You're taking people to your listing, but you're failing to close the deal because they're just not getting enough information and enough convincing out of the things that you have there.
When you talk to a lot of brands, there's always the point where the brands think we need more traffic. It's like, if we're not getting sales, let's just go for more traffic. Talk to me about that. What do you think they should be fixing instead of going for more traffic?
It's actually funny that you say that because we just went through something like this a couple of weeks ago. And the first thing that we like to show them is we'll take a look at conversion rates. So every category, doesn't matter if you're selling on Amazon, Walmart, Target, Kroger, you always have some average conversion rates. And if we see that a brand is very below that, we always tell the client, we can spend on ads if you want. We can take people to your listings. But the matter is you're just wasting your ad budget because the listing is not closing the deal. So some brands, they believe if I need to increase my sales, I need to get more people to go to my listing. But if your listing doesn't have the necessary information for people to be able to make an informed decision, then you can take as many people as you want to your listing. But the reality is the conversion rate is going to kill your brand. It's going to kill your profitability because it's probably going to leave you with a high ACOs and a pretty high tacos. It's just going to eat up your profit margins.
Let's talk about a reality situation. You start managing a brand and you have several issues across the board to fix. How would you prioritize what to fix within the brand?
So every single brand is different. What we usually like to do is on the kickoff call, we would try to understand what are the pain points that this customer is experiencing on Amazon or any other retail media network and see what we can help. Then we'll take a deeper look into the catalog and the ad strategy. We would try to cut back on wasted ad spend. And if we do see that the listings, they have a very big problem, for example, they're not really conversion optimized, we're going to talk with this client and just put them in the following way. We want to cut back ad spend at least until we can fix your conversion rates. We're just going to leave this running as a sort of an afterthought. And then once we fix the basics, so the foundation of the whole listing, then we can start to take more people into your listing, explore your ad spend, expand your ad strategy, try it out, new campaigns, and expand even what you're doing with retargeting. So at the end, if they also have a good listing, then what we try to do with the ad strategy is see where we can improve. So a lot of brands, they have a lot of wasted ad spend. So this is ad spend that's going towards keywords that are really not driving your brand forward. They're just generating a high ACOs and a very high tacos for your brand. So we would first cut on those. Then we would understand how are your products being prioritized. Because the reality is not all of the products work the same way. On Amazon, you have something called organic rank. So a product that's ranked on the first page organically would always outperform in ads a product that's ranked on the third page organically. So if you're pushing more budget, let's say, to the product on the third page, then unless you have an incrementality strategy, you're in reality going to be faced with a very high ACOs and tacos that a lot of the small brands just can't absorb because of profit margins. So we would first try to understand how are the products being prioritized. We would assign them to buckets. So like hero products, products that we need to rank on, and products that we just need to get enough sales so that Amazon starts to, place them within Amazon.com, see where they belong, but we won't put too much budget behind them. Then for each product, we would run a keyword analysis, see what are those terms that you're targeting. Would then take a look at the search word performance and do some keyword analysis on third-party tools just to see, are you really covering the bases that you should be covering? We know that people are always changing the way that they browse on Amazon. So we want to make sure that all of the bases are covered. Your hero product should always be there, at least on the very important head terms, because at the end, that product is probably driving most of the sales in your business, and you need to maintain it for your catalog to grow. And afterwards, we're going to see, do you have any brand defense strategies in place? Are you really a brand who could benefit from brand defense? Because not all of them do. Do you have some competitor conquest campaigns in place? If you have you been running them in the past? Do you have a good performance on them? If not, we might just focus on growing first on category terms before trying to go after competitor customers. And then finally, depending on which vertical you land, we would see if you have retargeting and loyalty strategies in place. So for example, for a lot of the consumable products on Amazon, you want to extend your lifetime value. You want to have a good average lifetime value of a customer. And for that, you need to drive repeat purchase behavior. So for a lot of these consumable repeat purchase behavior products, we need to make sure that you are actually capturing those customers after the replenishment window is over. So if you have a product that everyone buys every 4 weeks, are you really retargeting strategies to get people to rebuy your product at the end of the 4-week period? Because it's always easier to keep a customer that you already have than to attract new customers. So these are all things we take a look at. We really do a deeper look, not just across media, but also retail. We'll also take a look at inventory. Inventory is very, very important on Amazon, especially if you're using FBA. So one thing that we see with some clients is that they want to grow and they have a good listing, a good ad strategy, but then inventory is not there. So if we were to push a little bit harder, we would then run into inventory issues. So then we would also just rework the ad strategy around inventory. Are there inventory that you need to clear out? Are there products that we need to scale back? Because if we continue to push them the same way, you're just going to hit low inventory and then Amazon is going to slap you with a low inventory fee.
Talk to me realistically, what kind of impact would you typically see within the first 30 to 60 days? What actually changes?
So I'm going to give you an example of 2 of my current clients that we've been doing a lot of listing optimization and a lot of ad strategy rework. So for one of these clients, when we got their account, they were down year over year in sales 40%. I actually met with them yesterday, and in just 2 months, we've taken that number down to minus 14%. So one thing that we've seen is that by launching listing optimizations, new images, A+ content, and just really try to reposition the product, highlight the unique selling points that they have and why the premium price that they have is worth it. We've seen a lift in conversion rate usually of about 5 to 10%. And then just by cleaning up media strategy, we're able to reduce ACOs by around 20 to 25% in that same time frame. And we've kept ad spend almost at the same level because we still have some work to do. So we first want to fix everything before pushing that. Also have another client that with the listing optimizations that we've done, we actually saw very strong performance growth. This client, there was one of the hero ASINs, so about a 20% conversion lift, just a couple weeks after we launched new titles, new bullets, new A+ content, new backend search terms. And so far, the first month that they were with us, they grew about 10% month over month. And then this month, we're going about 30% from the previous month. So overall, just very strong conversion rates, very strong sales gains, just by making some small changes to the listings, the images, and just really try to position the product as if I was a customer buying this product, what do I need to know?
That's so helpful, Maria. And for those of you who are watching, that's why you go to an agency that totally understands you, has the right experts, and can bring you the results. There's going to be a link down in the comments. You can use that in booking a free strategy call to speak to one of our team. Thank you, Maria, for doing this. I do appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me, Ari.